Joining me now is David Wilson. He is running in North Carolina's 10th district. He has no Democratic primary opponent, so that's kind of a relief. We're constantly talking to people who are in races with 7, 8 Democrats, trying to figure out who the best Democrat is. In your case, it's crystal clear. Welcome to the show, David.
Hey, thank you for having me, Cenk. And it's David Wilson Brown. It's my full name.
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry, David Wilson Brown.
All good. All good. I get that a lot.
You want to talk about struggles with names? I get that a lot.
Yeah, I looked up the pronunciation to make sure I got it right.
Yeah, you did a wonderful job with it. Thank you. It's funny, you got Cenk Uygur right, and I got David Wilson Brown wrong. So your incumbent there is Patrick McHenry. He's a Republican. He's held the seat since 2004.
Yes, he's the chief deputy majority whip of the House, and with Speaker Ryan retiring, he's likely to move up to the whip at least. He stepped in for Steve Scalise when he was out, and he helped shepherd in the AHCA vote. In fact, HuffPost reporter Matt Fuller said that he was 1,000 times more responsible for that vote passing than President Trump. So,
wow, that's pretty strong.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's the battle plan for taking him down, given that he is such an entrenched Republican now in leadership?
Right. Well, I mean, the biggest thing to recognize about him is that he is a career politician. He literally got a state legislative position right out of college and then went directly and ran for the seat from Cass Ballinger, who retired. So he's been in office pretty much his entire adult life. So many of the grassroots Republicans rail about, career politicians and people just out for themselves. And I mean, in every way, shape, or form, this is pretty much the atypical or the typical Republican political machine guy. He's quiet. He doesn't make a lot of ruckus. He's never had a unique idea that wasn't provided to him from a lobbyist. So he's really someone we need to get out of there, because as their leadership coalesces, that he's likely to move up even more. In fact, John Boehner suggested that he might be speaker one day in a recent interview. So he's certainly a quietly dangerous person in the House.
Okay, now you have an interesting story. You're a lifelong Democrat, but you worked or interned for Republican Sue Myrick, who's Congresswoman from North Carolina's 9th district. And that's the part of the story that's interesting. So when you were among the Republicans, and did they know you were a Democrat or no?
They didn't until later in the year. It was the first summer she was in office. It was the year of Contract on America, or for America, or on America, with America. I don't know, whatever it was. But it was Newt Gingrich came into office that year. And that's when I saw the toxicity up there. I went up. I was a teen activist in Charlotte politics and knew her as mayor. So I thought that she'd be, someone to work with. And, she was pretty moderate going in. But, with the wave of conservatism that Newt Gingrich brought in, and the push to have no compromise whatsoever, that that the Democrats were the enemy. And I started hearing that. I started hearing them, legislative folks making fun of people on the other side, such as Barney Frank and different people like that, and it was it made me not want to go into politics, really. I double majored in political science and communications, so I ended up going more the communications route. I'm an IT consultant now, so I think that I could bring something to Congress by being someone who knows a little bit about cybersecurity. I'm not going to claim to be an expert, but I certainly know a lot more than those folks who were interviewing Mark Zuckerberg the other night.
Well, it is a low bar, to be fair. What were they saying about Barney Frank?
Just making fun of him, for being openly gay, and that's not the makeup of who I am. I'm someone who supports. I'm very inclusive. My staff is an amazing staff. I've got people from teens to retirees who are part of it. LGBTQ people. I've got ministers. I've got a lot of people working for us from the district who really care about making a change, and they want some better representation. There's definitely a feeling across the district, even those who have generally supported Mr. McHenry, that he's an absent congressman. He lives in Washington. He very rarely comes here. If he does, it's secretive. He shows up for town halls that he only announces to his own supporters. He comes for photo ops that we only hear about after they've happened. It's the stealth congressman, right? And he just doesn't represent our district. He is vice chair of the House Finance Committee, so a lot of banking money. He gets a ton of banking money. In fact, he's got over $2 million in the bank right now. And I'm a grassroots guy. I've never run for office before. I don't have a base of donors. I'm working hard, and I'm working full time. I've got a family, my wife and 2 kids, and I've got to provide for them. So I'm not someone who's going to go to Washington and live off largesse. I'm going to go up there to work. I want to be a legislator. I don't want to be a money raiser. But I know that's what's got to happen in our system now, and I'm going to do it. And I've been in this since July 4th last year, and the network that I've built with the Democratic Party in the district, the people that I'm talking to on a daily basis, there is a real energy here. They feel the blue wave. You can see the blue wave pin I got here. You can feel the blue wave, and people are excited and ready to change. And I think we can do it. It's of course, there's gerrymandering, significant gerrymandering in North Carolina's congressional districts, but I think it's something we can overcome because people are energized and they know this is an election for the very soul of America.
So, David,
go ahead.
Sorry, David. One more thing. I actually want to talk to you about one policy issue, which is healthcare.
Yes, sir.
You seem to have done a calculation of how many people are uninsured in your district, and I find that fascinating. What's your healthcare proposal, and how many folks are in trouble down there?
So it's last I checked, I think it was 110,000. We're going to lose health insurance with the AHCA vote if that had gone through. Certainly, we're fighting for that every step of the way. We don't want to lose the ACA because of what it's providing to people, but we want to go further. I'm really excited today about the Choose Medicare Act that's come out from Chris Murphy and Jeff Merkley. I've heard talk about that in the past, and I've been pushing that pretty much the entire time I've been running. I think a Medicare buy-in gets us that public option that we lost out in the ACHA, and I think it gets us to that place where Republicans can't argue on that. We're going to lose out on choice, that Americans will have a choice, but one of the choices will be a public option that is affordable and fair and gets people the health care coverage they need. That's the biggest thing that I see. It's not so much even the affordability. I mean, that's a major problem, but it's the underinsurance, and especially if some of these things that they've built into this tax plan, the repeal of the individual mandate, we're really going to start seeing healthcare costs go up, and they're going to blame the ACHA, not all the actions that they've done to injure what's been built there. So this public option is a great option, and what it does is it makes the case to the American people that Medicare can deliver for the people in the nation the kind of healthcare that they need. The system is there already. Certainly, it needs to grow and expand to be able to take care of everyone, so we can move to full Medicare for all. But I think this is a great option for America, for us to grow into, the type of healthcare system that we need, real, true, universal healthcare.
All right, David Wilson Brown in North Carolina's 10th District. I want to put up the links. DWB4, that's the number 4, DWB4Congress.com. DWB4Congress.com. We'll have the links down below if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. And what can Brown do for you? Well, he can defeat one of the top Republicans in the House. Thank you, David, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, Cenk.